Hello everyone, welcome to Chemistry. So today we will discuss female reproductive system from your human reproduction chapter. Female reproductive system is mainly consist of a pair of sex organ, that is ovaries, the duct system that comprises of oviduct or the fallopian tubes, a uterus, the cervix and the vagina. The next is the external genitalia. Along with these, the accessory gland, that is a pair of mammary gland, are included. Its location is, it is present in the pelvic region of the female's body. Now what happens is, many of the students skip these organ system diagrams, so they get very fewer marks of just writing these. So let us see how easily you can make these diagrams with labels. Okay, a fully labeled diagram is very essential before answering these questions in your examination paper. If you skip the diagram, the examiner will give you a fewer number of marks, since the diagrams are more valuable than just writing the lines. Okay, let's make the diagram. See how easily it can be made. Just a funnel shape. Yeah, right. These are the endometrium layer and the cervix. This is the vagina. And now the ovaries are also made. Let's label ovary, vagina, oviduct. It has three parts, that is infundibulum, ampulla and isthmus. This is the cervix area and this is the endometrium. This is the uterine cavity and the whole center portion is the uterus. Now we will discuss about the ovaries. Ovaries are the pair of sex organ, primary sex organ of the female reproductive system. Its function is the production of the female gamete or the female sex cell, that is ovum, also called ova, or the egg. It also secretes the female sex hormones estrogen and progesterone. These hormones are responsible for the development of female sex character in the female's body and the changes in the endometrium layer of the uterus during the menstrual cycles. It is located near the kidney and is attached to the pelvic walls and the uterus through mesovarium by ovarian ligaments. Now let's see the diagram of the ovaries longitudinal section and how easily it can be made. I'll show you. The outermost lining of the ovary is the germinal epithelium and is consist of cubical cells. This is the mesovarium that attaches the ovary to the walls of pelvic and the uterus. This is the outer cortex of the ovary, in which the primordial follicles or the premature follicles are obtained. In the cortex region, the maturing follicles, the primordial follicles, these are the maturing follicles, and the fully mature follicles are present in this cortex region. And this is the ovum releases by the rupturing of this fully matured Graafian follicle. The fully mature follicle is called Graafian follicle. The Graafian follicle without the ovum is called the corpus luteum, as you can see in this diagram, and this is the degenerating corpus luteum. This is the medulla, consists of connective tissue, elastic fibers and few blood vessels. Now label it: cortex, primordial follicles, this is peritoneum, the outer lining of germinal epithelium. This is the germinal epithelium, and this is maturing follicles. This is the fully matured follicle, that is the Graafian follicle. This is the medulla part. This is the released ovum, released from the rupturing of the Graafian follicle. It is the corpus luteum, and these are the mesovarium. What we have seen in the structure of ovaries, that the free surface of the ovary is covered by the germinal epithelium, that is composed of cubical cells, and the germinal epithelium is composed of only single layer of cubical cells. The germinal epithelium is lined by peritoneum, and internally the ovary is divided into outer cortex and inner medulla. The primordial or premature follicles originates at the cortex region of the ovaries. The cortex also contains the connective tissue called stroma, which is highly cellular. The inner medulla is composed of elastic fibers, connective tissues, and numerous blood vessels and smooth muscle fibers. Now we will discuss about the duct system. The duct system comprises of fallopian tube, also called the oviduct, the uterus, the cervix, and the vagina. Firstly, the fallopian tube. This is the part of reproductive system that receives the ovum and helps at the site of fertilization and transfers the zygote to the uterus. So, let us see the diagram of the fallopian tube. The end part is the fimbriae, and this is infundibulum part of the fallopian tube, ampulla, and this is the isthmus. The ampulla is where the fertilization takes place. Suppose this is the ovary and it is the released ovum is catched by the fimbriae. The next is the uterus. It is also called as womb. This is a hollow organ and acts as a life support system. It acts as the site for the implantation of the fertilized egg, which gets nourished and develops into the infant. See, this is the oviduct and this center portion is the uterus having the endometrial linings. Okay, this is the uterus. The outer lining of the uterus is known as perimetrium, and this middle lining is known as the myometrium. The innermost lining is called the endometrium. This endometrium is responsible for the menstrual cycles in the female body. It sheds off during the menstruals. So, the menstrual cycles occurs. The next part is the cervix. The lower part of the uterus is very narrow and is called cervix. The upper 2/3 of the mucous membrane of the cervix is lined by ciliated epithelial cells, while the lower 1/3 of the mucous membrane is lined by non-ciliated columnar epithelium. The part of the cervix projects into the upper part of the vagina. Now, the last one is the vagina. It is a muscular passage that composed of fibroelastic connective tissue. The walls of the vagina are lined by striated squamous epithelium. The opening of the vagina is covered by a thin membrane called hymen that eventually breaks during the sports or the exercise like swimming, dancing, stretching. It can be done anything like cyclings also, or the initial intercourse. It has a gland called Bartholin's gland on the each side of the vagina. So, what is the function of the vagina? The vagina helps to transfer the male gamete, that is the sperm or the spermatozoa, into the uterus and eventually to the fallopian tube where the fertilization takes place. Now, the female external genitalia. The external genital organ of the female are collectively known as vulva. It consists of mons pubis, labia majora, labia minora, hymen and clitoris. Mons pubis consists of fatty tissue covered by skin or pubic hairs. The labia majora, the fold of tissue, extends The labia majora are the folds of tissue that extends downwards from the mons pubis and surrounds the vaginal opening. The labia minora are the folds of tissue under the labia majora and surrounds the urethral opening. The clitoris is the tiny finger-like structure which lies at the junction of the two labia minora and the majora. Now comes to the mammary gland. The mammary glands are well developed after puberty. Each breast is a soft, rounded elevation present over the pectoral region. The skin over the center of elevation has a darkly pigmented circular area called areola. The projection overlies the center part of the areola is called the nipple. Each breast contains granular tissue and fat bodies. These granular tissue is composed of 50 to 20 mammary lobes, which is composed of cluster of cells called alveoli. These alveoli opens to the mammary tubules. The mammary tubules combined and make the mammary duct, which further joins and makes the mammary ampulla, which opens to the lactiferous duct. These ducts opens to the nipple via the milk is sucked out. In this image you can see these are the glandular tissues and these are the cluster of alveoli. These clusters of alveoli contains the milk and releases these milk via these mammary duct to the lactiferous duct. Here as a support system, these are the fat tissues or fat globules. Thank you for watching. If this video is useful to you, do like, share, comment and subscribe, and don't forget to write your questions in the comment section so that I can answer to your all the questions.